Reinstatement Implementation Act 2020.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Seniors. No? Oh, I'm sorry. The honourable member. The honourable member for. I thought it was referring to the 5 minutes of questions you didn't get last time. The honourable member for Elgin, Middlesex, London.
And thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I know you're getting a 2 for 2. So the end of last session, the beginning of this one. So I'm switching on to Bill C-14 and giving my last 5 minutes on that. Prior to going on to the break where we got to meet with constituents, I was speaking in the chamber about some of the impacts that I have seen within my own community. And one thing that I spoke greatly in detail about was the travel industry, specifically the travel agents and consultants that are losing their entire livelihoods. And I shared with you the story of Marianne Rose, who was a travel agent for the last 32 years. At one time had seven people working with her, and now it's down to 1. These are concerns that as we're moving forward, that the government needs to recognize the impact to these businesses and organizations and what the future is going to hold for them. But today I also want to talk about what I've seen in another small business and sharing this story. It's a place called Dark Matters. And so bringing these stories to light where we can talk about the challenges that different people are seeing are really, really important. And the reason I want to talk about this is Craig Lawrence is a really incredible community advocate, community spirit. He's out there doing great jobs, but he has not been in a normal situation. And I want to read to you what he messaged me over the weekend. Hey, Karen, Craig here. And I guess that's the one thing. I'm just Karen here, and that's what I love about doing my job here in Elgin, Middlesex, London. Seems I do not qualify for CEBA due to prerequisite to have made a certain amount in 2019. Unfortunately, 2019, I lost 51% income due to the Ross Street construction. Then in 2020, 80% loss as a direct result of COVID. My accountant and I are looking for help. Any answers as how do our businesses who are forced to close can qualify for those and other compensation? And I want to bring this up because by no fault of Craig, in 2019, we had an entire construction area in the city of St. Thomas where you could actually not get to Craig's store. Because my children love that kind of stuff, I continue to be able to come in around and going around the back and coming through the side door, but lots of people weren't even willing to make those trips. He was able to go forward and find a business on Amazon and build his business there. But what happened is those dollar values that he needed to be able to get any of the programming from any of the government programs for the COVID relief, he does not meet any of that eligibility. I have referred him just most recently to our Elgin Business Resource Center, hoping that they can help somehow through regional recovery funds. And I can say that I am very thankful to the government to make sure that we do have things on the ground, because places like the Elgin Business Resource Center, they sit down with that business. They are consulting them through what are some of the challenges that they're having, and they have small pockets of money that they can give them. And I know that immediately, I think it was in 5 weeks. Thank you, Madam Speaker. In 5 weeks, all of the money was spent from this organization and was on the ground helping over 28 different businesses, and they're doing very well. But I look at Dark Matters, and I think this is not just one business. This is a business that we can look and say across the country, this same situation is being replicated. There are people that continue to fall through the holes. And we can talk about, well, we need more money on the ground. I'm not always asking for more money. I'm asking for money to be spent wisely. And unfortunately, this government, I have not seen that. I would say since 2015, we haven't seen that. But under this pandemic, under the spending, we know that we have an incredible debt load that next generations are going to be taking on. And so this government, really what we need into this government, we need to be concerned with them looking at the Prime Minister's leadership and not continuing to stumble like we've seen with the vaccine rollout, and make the economy is stronger coming out of this as it currently is. And so I'm really hoping that we can come up with a competent and cohesive plan that will work for all Canadians. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Questions and comments. The Honourable Member for Kingston and the Islands.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and I thank the member from Elgin Middlesex for her intervention today. We're hearing, and I've heard it a number of times when discussing this particular piece of legislation, about some of the concerns as to, not that the Conservatives are looking for more money, but that they're concerned about where the money was spent. What we do know is that the Conservatives were there every step of the way, as were all parties, in passing legislation unanimously to get supports for Canadians during this pandemic. So my question to her would be, if she could tell us about some of the programs that she would have preferred to have seen not put in place, such as CERB or whatever they might be, so that it wouldn't have cost Canadians as much.
The honourable member for Elgin, Middlesex, London.
I really appreciate, because that almost feels like a lob from my friend from Kingston and the Islands, because honestly, do we want to talk about do we want to talk about all of those awful things that happened in 2020? I'm surprised that you actually gave me the platform for that. We saw this government come out with programs like Bayless, all of these different things that we could have done better. So I'm just trying to say there are opportunities where we can work with partners and making sure our dollars are being spent. Spending money wisely is exactly what we should be teaching ourselves and the next generation. It's really, really simple. How do we spread that dollar? How do we take a dollar and how do we spread it? And I just wish the government could get a grasp on this. So if you're talking what programs I wouldn't want to see, well, I wouldn't want to see almost $1 billion of government money that was going to be wasted, that actually at the end of the day didn't help anybody. I would like to have seen the government actually put something out that actually did help students instead of getting us into the fiasco that we've been in for the last year.